there, beloved Ascension pioneers. Welcome to my video that will talk about different expressions of divine love. You have probably heard me talk about this a lot, and just this week I was drawing this beautiful coloring of the divine couple in sacred marriage called the Charis Love. And my mother was reading to me from this book. It's called The Book of Love. And we actually have the Slovene version, but it's from Kathleen McGovern. And when she was reading this part, some of the segments in the book are actually referring to the Book of Love written by Joshua, the Master Jesus. And the amazing part was that when she read these different 6 parts of expressions of divine love, I really felt called to talk about this because a lot of times I already shared about this, but not in such a, composed manner. So I want to share with you about these different expressions, which are all one, they're needed. And as it shares here in this book, that when all these are expressed, for all those who are open to this knowing, who have the ears to hear and the eyes to see, and if these all would be expressed in our unique oneness, then there would be no duality, there would be no separation, no darkness on the planet. So I want to tell you about this because if you're guided to, I have a lot of questions sometimes referring to the sacred marriage, the inner polarities, the divine opposites. People call these different names, and they want to have this understanding, but it doesn't come mentally. Love, as I shared many times, you can only experience. It touches you. It's a profound experience of knowing yourself as source. So when you know that, you also desire only to embody this. It's a natural state of being. So it doesn't come from an intellectual, mental level. A lot of people say to me, please, can you explain to me what this is? Well, I can't. I can try to share about this, but it's an intimate experience that grows and matures within you when you're ready to embrace the sacred truth. So this book is actually pretty good because it embraces a lot of these truths and the nature of the Charis Love without any of the new age obsessive compulsive behaviors on the twin flame movement, that I call, I don't know how to call it, but there's a lot of this approach that it's not really coming from our illuminated, enlightened self. So a lot of times it comes as a distraction. This week somebody shared a video with me that, it didn't really resonate because it wasn't approached from a level of truth. And I always say this, everybody is birthed through the divine as a sacred twin soul essence, a unique bubble of love that only you share as a twin soul. It's a unique divine signature of your soul song expressed in an intimate polarity of the divine yin and yang, masculine and feminine. So when you try to perceive this on a mental level, you're just trying to get knowledge which is not really experiential knowing of yourself as that essence. So when I was tuning into that video, like I said, it's not personal, but the energy coming through was not really embracing that in the sacredness of all life in creation as we all are, because it created a lot of division and separation between those who are illuminated twin flames, the so-called twin flames, and those who are not, and those who don't understand. And there was even the acknowledgement that being obsessed about this is okay because only you understand this, who have this compulsive obsession about you and your so-called twin flame, which has nothing to do with the truth of the beloved. There is no obsession in divine love, and you have to understand the difference between obsession and longing, which is sacred, which is a natural pull towards the magnetism of your soul, which is one. It's birthed through the divine, through the sacred womb. And how it explains in this book, these archetypes of that, it's source creating as the divine feminine and masculine expressed already as source, creating the races of different beings, and human beings being one of those who actually experience gender and how it was meant to experience it from the beginning of the divine origin of our birth as a soul, to experience the divinity and the gift that comes through the frequencies of the sacred masculine and feminine, which has nothing to do with being separate. So it's all about the unification process. And a lot of times I hear about this, and it comes from a level of non-understanding. And when I look at the bigger picture, what Spirit shows me is that a lot of individuals who are not yet happy and satisfied in their own lives, they're not yet whole from within, they seek outside of themselves. Either they're in unhappy marriages, something is not working, or they think they're going to start their purpose once that kind of divine partner who shares their soul frequency will come, but without doing the proper inner integration and walking a path of mastery first. Like I explained in my video before, first, you got to understand yourself and your physical ascension path, and then you understand yourself that the same as your ascension path goes, it's in alignment with your twin soul path, with embracing that. And it has nothing to do with you being obsessed about it. When the word obsession is being, kind of like confirmed and approved that it's okay, then you don't have yet the proper understanding of the nature of this experience. So in this book, it talks about these sacred 6 levels of love in expression. When they're in expression, what I mean by saying expression means they're being embodied in form. They're being brought from your spirit self, from the grace of your being, and brought into form. So you have, I will try to translate as I go because it's in our language. So excuse me if I make some mistakes. So within the Charis Gammas, the holy union of the lovers is the presence of God as the him and her self. And to be blessed, that union to be blessed by the divine, by the God, the God spark, that embrace, that divine embrace needs to be within trust and awareness. That's why I always talk about awareness. And when you talk about being obsessed about some person being that for you, you're not yet acknowledging that it's not that way. That's obsessive compulsive behavior, which has nothing to do with being aware, illumined self. So when the 2 lovers unite, they embrace love, even bodily, physical. They're no longer 2, but they live as 2 within 1, creating the 3rd, as you know. And they become 1, and they live in the Holy Spirit, the presence of the Holy Spirit. So you have then these 6 forms of love. The first one is agape. It is the love full of joy to the partner and the world, and you have to know that if you don't yet have the physical partner in your life, that partner first and foremost is you. It's how you treat yourself, how you have reunited with your sacred self, and how you treat yourself in the physical. So it is the purest form of the spiritual expression. Here it is the holy embrace that encompasses awareness. Then you have the second one. It's called Philia. The love, it is first friendship full of respect, love between sister and bride, brother and the witness. I don't know how to translate this. Like in marriage. But love even between brothers and sisters. Kind of like if we would say the group of Ascension pioneers. We have brotherly, sisterly love and support between each other. So love between true friends. Here it is the holy embrace that encompasses trust. So yesterday I was guided to create the circle of trust when we did a sacred new moon void meditation. And we created the sacred space of receiving and integrating. So this is very important. As well, it has to be pure. When we're judging ourselves, when we're projecting or we're assuming, we're not really being in that space. Without self-respect, you won't have the space to respect others, as you know, as within, so without. So you got to find it within you first. Then it is Charis Love, for which the specifics are grace, commitment, and the honoring the presence of God everywhere. So here we found the love of the mother and father on earth and in the heavens, so as above, so below. Then we have Eunoia, the love that inspires deep compassion and the honoring and the devotion to serve. That's why I always talk about service. You serve all life in creation by being the individualist, unique spark that you are, honoring, becoming your grace. So it's serving the world and all the godly people. Here it is the love to the charity and community. So that's why I say Ascension Pioneers. Although it's me doing the walk and the talk in my own unique way, it's also about the presence of the group, the greater self that we are together, in togetherness. Then we have Storge. I don't know if that's how it's pronounced. I don't know if English words are different. We have this version. If you want the English version, you have to get the book yourself or go to the library. That's the pure love that's full of gentleness, care, and compassion. Here we find the love of the children. The same way also higher beings that come to serve the earthly beings, those who are, traveling the journey of earth, they also have that love. They look at them as their descendants, because there's a lot of races who were co-creating along this process, and they feel kind of like the human species is like their children. Also brothers and sisters, but the love they have for all creation also encompasses that love. That's what they serve, because they don't feel separate from them. Eros, that's the last one. It's the love that is binds deep bodily celebration So it's union in body, in form. It's acknowledging the physical form, acknowledging the passionate stream of flow, and the tantric presence, you know, when the energy flows between the two and oneness. So this is where two souls unite in the merging of the bodies. This is the biggest expression between lovers. That is the most wholly expressed in Hieros Gamos. So the Hieros Gamos is the two within one and all levels of being. That's what Hieros Gamos actually means. It doesn't just mean physical union, because if you think, okay, we're just going to come together through sexual union, but the spiritual connection and all those other forms of love are missing and they're not expressed, then you don't have the full encompassed Hieros Gamos. So it says here, there's no darkness that couldn't be overcome by the light of love in one of the above forms of love, of the expressions. When all forms are present on earth, darkness cannot exist, so it ceases to exist. That's why we always complain about the nature of situation here in the planet, but this is because we don't yet embody this in our own self. It's because the human nature has forgotten about their true origin in the divine birth. So love overcomes everything. You know, you have all these movies that they try to defeat something, and then in the end they always realize, wow, that's why love was so suppressed, because it was the biggest weapon. It was the force that overcomes anything, because through love everything is birthed through. So through love everything illuminates. So it says, those who have ears to hear, let them hear. And I want to say a few things here, you know, because I've stopped, as you probably noticed, a lot of people became a part of our group because they heard me talking about the nature of twin soul. And when I started recording these videos at the beginning, I talked a lot about twin flames even, but then I really removed myself from it because I saw how much this word was being abused, how much it was, you know, being not really understood, how much darkness there is, how much misleading, how much false light that distracts people from really coming into their own presence and mastery first. Everybody wants their twin flame. Everybody wants things. Well, you can all want it, but what are you going to do to become the holy, sacred embodiment of that? So I kind of removed myself from it, from talking about it, because those who are true divine lovers, they live that from within. So instead of that, I was guided to just paint and, you know, poetry and all these higher expressions and singing. I started singing my soul song and my beloved soul song together as one, and our divine reunion melody that I got in the light language means iluvir. So iluvir means that divine union in my own way, you know, how I received. And I feel it's really important that you cannot birth that love with the beloved, with the true beloved frequency, unless you can really hold that space of love in the physical. If you can hold that amount of light, of that awareness within you. So that's why all these forms are present. I noticed that a lot of people who come to you with these questions, they want to approach it with the mental level, and they ask, you know, is this person, how do you know is that person my twin flame? But they don't really know that this love, it's not categorized as such. You can experience the sacred union love with every other form in life, with every other life form. It's free. It's free flow of love. It's not fixed to one person. So a lot of people who don't have the understanding here, they want to project all their love and put it just to one person. The love that is true eternal love, an infinite expression of the divinity that you are together in that beloved frequency of your unique bubble of love, will always flow freely, will not be kept to yourself in this one person. So those who really become obsessed with just one person, instead of really seeing what this is really about, they won't get it. They won't live that sacred Hieros Gamos. One other thing that I want to mention here is that this week I've seen this comment from somebody. It was about, I think somebody made a video about these labels, you know, starseed, indigo, crystal children, and how these terms were not important. And somebody said, well, they were important for me on my journey because I never felt human, and I'm still not human. I mean, I love humans, but I'm not one of them. And it's just the way it was expressed. When I read those words, I literally felt pain in my heart area. And it's not just this one comment in particular that I want to give as an example. But we really don't understand yet, do we, when we say those words, that, you know, no matter how much you feel different in your expression of love and your uniqueness, you can never say, I'm not human. I mean, you know, in that kind of way, how it was expressed, there was a lot of separation in that statement. You know, I might come from a soul awareness that doesn't need that physical experience, and I come here as a volunteer soul to serve and to show the way of physical ascension. But I'm as human as I can be right now. I'm flesh and bones. You see, I embrace the humanness. It is divine. And another thing that's really important here is to understand that why would we negate our humanness at this time? If it is just as divine as anything else, everything was created through Source. All the extensions, all the forms of creation. So when you do that and you create this division, instead of just seeing that nobody is actually from Earth, that's what it says in this galactic history of this universe and beyond. There's this beautiful statement that says nobody is actually of Earth. When you say earthly souls, you don't mean, you know, they're native souls. You don't mean, well, they were birthed on Earth. These are souls who have been identifying with the earthly kind of experience in these cycles and ages up until now, and they felt they're learning through this kind of, you know, density and matter in this terms. And that's all there is. Doesn't mean they're earthly, you're not, you know, you're different. Well, you might have a different awareness, and that's all that will ever make you a bit different. But you're not separate. So it brings me so much sadness when people, individuals who are calling themselves these names and labels, and they're supposed to be working in the light, that means awareness, are saying these things. And because what they do is they just create more separation, they create more ignorance, they create more of that denying the humankind, denying the human species. Because if you really are a so-called light worker, you will work within the realm of light. That is illumination. Light is awareness, it is illumination. And if you really have that love to share, you won't be saying those things. You might not be feeling that your lifestyle and your experience and your current level of awareness is matching that of the collective, but that's it. But you're still human. And you're human to show the way by embracing the humanness and showing your brothers and sisters that although maybe your awareness might be different and you're raising your vibration, you are still human at this time. And what you show with these kind of statements is just ignorance. When you say things like that, you truly don't embody all these 6 levels and expressions and forms of love that are described here. So how can you even grasp on the intensity of the truth of divine love if you don't even understand the basic law of creation and the love of all creation, of all life? So you see, there's a lot of confusion out there with people who don't yet walk in the truth. And I would really advise for everybody on this path of self-mastery to start embracing all life forms, all aspects. It's time to stop, you know, with this human, not human, starseed. Everybody is born of the same source. Everybody is star-born. Maybe somebody's just more aware of it, and they've been on a different journey, and they have more awareness to share. But let me tell you, you're not doing anything, you're not assisting anybody if you're not really sharing what you know with awareness, and instead you just create more duality, more separation. So these forms of love are really important, and until all of them unify within you and you realize the importance of it all, or you know, until you just seek one person to fulfill you and then you will walk your mission, then it's just not going to move. The energy will move towards your greater and greater expansion. You will just remain stuck with your own inner ignorance. So you're sabotaging yourself this way, and you're not really allowing yourself to be embraced with the most natural love that is pure grace. So once again, I will read you the names just to encompass it all, to go through it one more time. We have Agape Love, then we have Philia, we have Charis, we have Eunoia. These are just names, but they're really nice. And we have Storge, and Eros. So when you think of it, it's like different aspects of our human nature, divine human nature, that are desired to be expressed when the source, in its own union, also merges as source through us. So when we merge with our greater being, and when we merge our inner feminine and masculine, our sacred self, in the sacred marriage, So when you are asking yourself about twin flames, on when it's going to happen for me, what's going to happen, then you're just not seeing the bigger picture. When you really are in the sacred path, it will become a path of mystery, of expansion, of mastery, and then everything is happening naturally for you, and it's a natural expansion that nobody can intellectually guide you into. It is your own path that takes a lot of awareness and integration of that awareness. Like I say, you can perceive yourself with lots of knowledge and information to share, but until you approach it with awareness and until you create that separation, you're just not going to be walking in the light fully. So I hope this helps. And I really want to encourage you to start embracing all of these forms, and friendship, connection with all life forms, motherly, fatherly love. This is included even if you don't have children. Remember, higher beings that we're co-creating with the certain beings and races, they also are creating kind of like their descendants, and they perceive them as children. You don't have to have like a physical child in the human form in that way to know these feelings. This is a soul expansion from within. It's an essence that you feel, and then you express it, whether you have your own children or not. You might perceive your charities or groups or anything like that as your child, as a part of you that you birth into creation. So this really is a path, and like it says here in the book, a path of self-discovery, of truth, of mastery, and of really, really getting deep into what the beloved really means. So I hope this helped. Remember, embrace love and oneness in all its forms and expressions. And until next time, so much love, wisdom, and power. Goodbye for now. Bye-bye.